Franchise.
Get in like the Marines.
Franchise.
Yeah.
Franchise.
We're in.
Franchise. Franchise the damn thing.
And now, a scene from Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. You're safe now. They can't hurt you. Kate, my name is Dr. Silberman. I'm a post-trauma counselor for the Sheriff's Department. How are you feeling?
He's not human. He's really not human.
I know what it's like to be in a hostage situation. I've been there myself. The fear, the adrenaline. You find yourself imagining things, impossible things, crazy things, insane things. Takes you years to get over it.
Welcome to Franchise Addicts, a podcast covering every film in a given franchise. My name is Luke.
And I am Chris.
This week we are on to the third film in the Terminator franchise, Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
Going back in the timeline, back to the Rise. Now we're getting this done. The movie that could not be found, that is erased from the public eye, was found. Of course, we talked about it. Paul had this.
You're welcome.
Paul, he's here again. How you doing, Paul?
Good. You're welcome.
Upgraded to the T850.
He's the T850
for this episode.
now. Yep, that's right. We got it. We watched it. Had a nice little watch party. And we did it. So we have now covered that. The machines have risen, and we're going to tell you about it.
I mean, what an absolute travesty that this movie is not streaming everywhere. The true gem masterpiece of this franchise. You can tell why it is so just, screamed for from the rafters.
I'm surprised
of the Reddit communities. Why can't I just watch Terminator 3 whenever I want?
The outrage should be louder, in my opinion.
Oh boy. It's almost like Paul talked about this last week. If you were to watch Terminator Salvation first, and then watch Terminator 3 immediately after, you're like, Terminator Salvation? Not bad.
Not so bad. Yeah.
I had some stuff. It's almost like that tree falling in the forest where no one's around. If a movie goes offline that no one wants to see, does anyone care?
Well, the weird thing about this movie, because after watching it and kind of thinking it was a dud in many aspects, I'm like, well, let me do some research on this. I try to usually avoid listening to podcasts or YouTube videos about the movie so that I'm not just stealing points from people. Mm-hmm. But I was like, let me see what the public thinks about this. People love this movie. People cherish parts of this movie and think it's like the second best Terminator.
Well, not just people. I mean, this is one of those rare movies that on Rotten Tomatoes the critics gave a higher score than even the people.
It's wild. It's almost like because you can barely see this movie, it's not as readily available. People just have this nostalgia for it that Terminator Salvation just doesn't get, because people by that time were just like, 2009. You crapped out another Terminator movie, this sucks, and are very open to be like, this movie's terrible, whereas Terminator 3 gets put in a bubble wrap, and it's like, how dare you take punches and punch down on Terminator 3? It's like, well, it's even easier to punch down on than the other ones, because it's a super balloon budgeted movie that Arnold didn't want to do in the first place, and is checked out for almost the entire movie. We'll get into it some more, but Arnold is just gone to the wind. He's Sigourney Weaver in Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
And it just gets bubble wrapped, and you can't punch down on it.
Yeah, I think if you looking back on it, and if you take it for what it kind of is, which is almost a parody of itself, it's almost campy in a way. And if you look at it like that, you go, okay, it is kind of one of those movies that there's some parts where you go, it's so bad, it's almost good. The problem is that it's a almost $200 million movie that shouldn't be a parody of itself.
Well, and it's a $200 million movie that has one script idea that needs to be there. the end of the movie is the only thing that actually matters for the like chronology of the Terminator films. Like you have to see, because Judgment Day is inevitable, you have to see how Judgment Day actually comes about. We haven't seen it in any of the movies previous. And that's the only thing that exists. And then the director was and the writers were basically like, well, we have to also fill in another hour and 40 minutes of this movie. So just redo Terminator 2.
I like that it's the looking at it as kind of a bit of a parody. And yeah, it's very expensive. But it does hit it does deliberately try to hit some of those same notes. Some of the chases are very fun. You know, like I don't know. Well, I'll just get into it now. But the big truck chase scene.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think I probably enjoyed that more than most anything in Salvation. I did like, and the you know, there are some things to like. Is this a movie that we're like, this is a serious good movie? Well, no. However, I would imagine that we're not gonna think that any of these following Terminator films are. I think, you know, you had your first two, you kind of hit lightning in a bottle, you made a lot of money, and then it's forever kicking the can down the road, trying to hit pay dirt again, and never really succeeding. You know, I looked at some of this almost like a really expensive piece of fan fiction that they somehow got Arnold to sign on to do. You know, it doesn't feel as the writing, none of it feels as crisp or as effective as the James Cameron scripts, of course. But maybe that's a good segue to ask you, Luke. Who wrote this? What's the deal? Let's get into the set the table for
Sure.
T3.
Yeah, so T3 came out in 2003. Director Jonathan Mostow, writer John Brancato, and Michael Ferris. A lot of legacy to live up to. T2, even by the time in 2003, is considered one of the greatest action movies ever made. How are you going to follow that up? Everyone is just begging James Cameron to come back, do a third movie. Cameron keeps on being like, I don't want to do it, but I'll give my blessing if people want to do it, which he eventually does with Mostow. He does with Arnold. A lot of big name directors got thrown around to take over this. It kind of sat in production hell for a long time because the rights for this movie, as we discussed last week, you know, the fact that we can't watch this movie streaming anywhere. The rights were, you know, passed on to different companies. They're going bankrupt. They're selling stuff. James Cameron lost it in a divorce, and all this crazy behind the scenes stuff exists that eventually gets figured out. Terminator has to continue. It's too much of a moneymaker to not continue. They end up handing it over to Mostow and then also just cutting him a gigantic check. $187 million go into this movie. It was, for a while, the highest budget for an R-rated movie in history. I think it still is, based on inflation, one of the highest paid for R-rated movies ever. It ends up making $443 million worldwide, so technically still a hit. I think a lot of the marketing dollars that went into this kind of made it not as big a hit as that number would suggest, because as you can tell, Mostow was not asked to come back and make more Terminator movies. So from a artistic standpoint, considered a failure. From a financial standpoint, still even considered a failure.
He that director Mostow, he did that Kurt Russell movie. Hold on, I just was on
A
it.
submarine movie.
The Breakdown. That's
he did
Breakdown.
U5071.
There you go.
Yep. Not so. A few movies you've maybe heard of. Oh, did he do Hancock? Is that?
I think he might have.
Yeah. Interesting. So nope. No, he didn't. He was just involved.
The world's most successful director. even before this, even after this. And this is kind of where the franchise goes into, let's just get whoever we can and not hand it back to another auteur to kind of guide this through making another trilogy, another set of movies that could go down in history.
Yeah, it gets into the, kind of the, I don't know if parody is the right word, but just like we're officially going to start, as Eminem said in 8 Mile, stop living up here and live down there. And we're not shooting for like, oh my gosh, this is incredible, but this is going to be good enough. And I think that good enough to make some money, to hit some of the notes, scratch some of those itches, and what a wonderful plot device. Let's bring in a very attractive female. How's that?
Yeah, so the big thing about this movie is they are like, what if we go female Terminator?
Good idea.
Great idea. They're throwing around names, trying to get, some bigger names to do it. Can't really. I think they auditioned like 400 women for it.
I heard more than that even.
Yeah, it was a crazy amount, to the point where they're like, let's just make it a man again. They talked about Vin Diesel or The Rock coming in to be the opposite of Arnold. They go back. They're like, no, let's stick with the female thing. It's the best change that you can do from a, let's put some new butts in seats.
It also allows them to keep, a strong female character in this, because obviously
Sarah Connor's not in it.
Sarah Connor's not in it, so this allows for that sort of continuity of having a very strong female character, which we've seen previously.
And it's just cool. Like, who doesn't like the initial idea of, oh my, okay, there's going to be a female Terminator? What changes? What does that flip on its head? How does that look? On its surface, I believe that when I found that out about the movie, when it was, coming out way back when, I was like, oh, that's a nice hook. That is something that I'll buy into. I did not see this in theaters. Did either of you see it in theaters? So this 2003, we were all live. And what's your experience, Paul?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I definitely didn't see it in theaters. To be honest, I don't remember.
Off your radar.
Off my radar. I mean, those were I was graduating college around that time and moving into the real world and kind of burning the candle at both ends. So not a lot I remember from that time. But upon rewatching it, it's one of those where you go, I know I've seen this before, but it wasn't really on my radar at the time.
Yeah, I avoided it in theaters. I had a lot going on, I guess. I don't know, but I did watch it off. I downloaded it off Kazaa. I probably gave my computer more viruses, and I burned it onto a blank CD. And I was like, "This is it. I'm gonna get my own collection of movies for free from the internet. It's gonna be great." I got the Sharpie out. I wrote on. I was like, I'm gonna start having a collection of movies. That probably lasted for a few months, but Terminator 3 was on that list, and I do believe I watched it on a computer and was like, this is fine. That's my recollection.
Shout out Kane Harvey, who had those CD booklets, they must have had 200 apiece and just had burnt movies, and then you'd watch the movies at the beginning and it'd say like 10 years in prison, or whatever, $10,000 fine for having
the ripped
he was holding at least 80 life sentences, in those
the
books.
Black market of movies.
Before we get too far away from it, talking about the female Terminator in this, I want to present my first idea for how Luke fixes this movie.
Sure, go for it.
And it goes back to an idea that was brought up for T2. So you bring back Kyle Reese as the T-1000. Michael Biehn comes back, reprises his role, but this time he's the bad guy while Arnold's the good guy. What if you bring back Linda Hamilton to be the female Terminator?
I feel like at that point we're getting too cute.
But this movie is already too cute.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Not like that we're having this beacon of integrity to work against, but so what? It's that they got her.
They're like, do you know what would mess with John Connor the most? Not because we eventually find out in this movie that they kill John Connor in the future, and he's killed by Arnold.
So Freudian.
Yeah, Arnold as the Terminator in the future that hasn't been reprogrammed because they have his likeness from, obviously, the first movie where he is actually a bad guy, and he kills him in the future. Why not be like, what would really mess with John Connor's mind? If we send back someone that looked like his mom.
I mean, it's an option.
And Linda Hamilton didn't want to be a part of this movie, so she didn't want to be a part because they were going to kill her off halfway through the movie anyway. She's like, why would I show up to this where, I get to do something for half a movie, and then it seems like, based on the script, like you guys don't even pay any attention to the fact that she's gone halfway through the movie.
Well, Linda would eventually figure out the error of her ways and come crawling back. Be like, got any
She'll be back.
You got any Terminator stuff?
So
you guys got any? I've been looking for work.
So I don't know. I guess I hadn't thought about that. I don't hate it. You even have that little in a way a throwback to T2 because he does see the Terminator
as a father figure.
Well, as a father, but then also at the end, T1000 morphs into Linda Hamilton.
Exactly.
Right. So there's that, so you could play off of that right away in the beginning too when he sees her. I think ultimately it would go the same way that they were going to bring possibly Bean back in T2 and confuse audiences. Again, I kind of hadn't thought about it. I kind of like playing with that idea, and I think that smarter, audience members would get that, but the average person,
Blow, yeah.
I mean, but she was very emotional. Linda Hamilton's character, almost too emotional.
But
you need that
in T2. The reason why she came back to the franchise was she told James Cameron, "I don't want to be this weepy like last girl thing. Make me a hardened like superhero, basically." And that's what she is in T2. She's an insane person.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea of and this goes into the Terminator school of acting, which means you have to kind of just be robotic. And I don't know if Linda Hamilton could do that.
I just think that based on the trajectory of the John Connor character, because in T2, he is, like a 10 to 13-year-old boy who is kind of like, fuck the world, like, I'm just an angry little kid or whatever. And now he's like 18, 19 years old. He's depressed. He's sitting on that bridge dropping beers into
Budweiser,
a skull-filled river. He's like, man, this all sucks. I don't want to be this person. My mom is like just thrown the weight of the world on my shoulders. And then to like have the scene where he's like, I was there with my mom. She died of cancer. It was terrible and all that sort of stuff. And then she's the one that's coming back. That would be sick.
That would have. So let's talk about that. The funny thing about these movies, they're not really, although John Connor is the eventual leader of the Resistance, none of these are really John Connor movies. And in fact, John Connor hasn't been figured out in any of them. They keep changing who plays him, what his character is. And so here comes Paul's crazy thought. How about you kill him off at the end of this movie and then allow for his, for Kate to become the strong female leader of the Resistance, because I don't know about you guys, but I mean, because at this point now we've changed we found out that Judgment Day didn't happen, but now it's going to happen later on. So already we've changed the future one. So it leaves a possibility open that we could kill him off later. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm watching this, I do not see the what's the name of the character? Nick Stoll as a suitable leader of any sort of resistance that I want to be a part of.
Even when they put old man makeup on him and show that future scene coming from above of him leading the charge.
He really is.
Never at no point did I find myself willing to follow him into battle.
No.
Well, and that completely changes what you can do in Salvation, where you can still do the protection of Kyle Reese. You can have the John Connor character tragically die at the end. You can have the handoff to Brewster, and that movie, basically from a plot standpoint, is all set up.
Yeah.
You're like good to go, and I think the problem that we're going to run into with a lot of these later Terminator movies is James Cameron made T2. He pieced out. He said, I told my story. That's it. And no one was able to take it over from them and no one took it over with the idea of like, this is how it progresses into the future. They all just took it over and were like, I'm going to make my one great Terminator movie. I want to take all the old stuff and put it back in instead of just doing new stuff.
Well, this is, this became a movie just to get butts in the seats. This became a movie that is applying. This is an action movie. We need to keep it simple. Keep it simple. Give me, who do we got? Okay, we got Terminator. What do we think of? We think of Arnold as Terminator. Cool.
Yeah.
There's action.
Got him.
We got him. That's the most important. We really need that. Oh my gosh, Salvation obviously doesn't have it, suffers. And then can we get Linda Hamilton? She's going to be number 2 on the call sheet as most recognizable. Obviously, there is really no one else besides Dr. Silberman. Now,
he's back, baby.
I wish he was a Terminator, but that's a whole nother conversation. But, so just, I know these become very B movies.
Well, it goes back to what I was talking about with the production and rights issues. Because this gets passed around from production company to production company, when it finally lands with one that wants to buy its rights, they're immediately like, great, I have a $400 million movie sitting in my back pocket. Just make T2 again. Just please do that.
Right, and that's where you're, and I think that's what that happens with like you said, okay, the first two have that continuity. They're James Cameron. He wrote them, he directed them, and then, that happens with the rights, and you get somebody in to just make a big movie. There's no thought about the future storyline, and I think that's what separates sometimes when you look at franchises, really good ones, and
we can go right back to our Batman, where you have Batman descends from Burton to just make money, and then you finally have enough time pass, and a good enough auteur director comes in with, like Chris Nolan is like, I will make you money, but I will also tell my own story. It will work.
And give me 3 movies.
Yeah. Let me do it in three shots. You get lucky sometimes. You get a Chris Nolan that's willing to take it over. Unfortunately for Terminator, like David Fincher was a name that was thrown around. Like,
really?
Yeah. Does Fincher want to take over Terminator?
Ridley Scott.
Yeah, Ridley Scott could have gotten brought in, which would be a crazy parallel to Aliens, where it goes Ridley to Cameron. This goes from Cameron to Ridley.
Love that.
Which would be insane because it would go from this crazy action, boom, blow everything up, it's awesome, to Ridley Scott's now, I will give you the entire backstory of the Terminator. There will be religious undertones and all that sort of stuff. And you're like, hell yeah, Ridley. Let's do it. Get Lindelof on the script. Let's talk about how Terminator is God.
There'll be a movie that doesn't even feature the Terminator till the very, very end. They'll be like, what is this? It's about, squid machines?
No, it would go back to what, Chris, you laid out with the JC.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
John Connor is Jesus Christ.
That's it. There it is. That's a movie. Ridley. I know you're not that old. Get on this. Yeah, and that's I guess why, we set this out, right, this podcast, to talk about franchises, to find the good franchises, to find the ones that are less than good. And I think this is our example of when it doesn't go right. We were so lucky to pick those first 2. Well, we weren't lucky. We picked them. We picked them. We chose them. It was
so lucky.
It was fate. There was fate. We did it. But to pick 2 franchises that multiple auteur directors took in different directions, took in interesting directions, that is rare. Typically, I think we're gonna find this, and we're going down this road. We're gonna find great movie or 2. And then let's keep the money machine going, and it's going to be to lesser and lesser returns. And that is, I think, at the end of the day, the blueprint for the Hollywood franchise. Yeah. We happen to cover 2 awesome kind of maybe exceptions to the rule.
Well, here's the great thing about being being able to just sit back and watch these movies, is that as a fan, you can, with these franchises, you can pick out where you want it to end, right? Like, I don't have to love Terminator 3. I can be somebody that just likes Terminator 1 and 2, and that's my Terminator. That's my franchise for
Not
this.
My Terminator.
Not my Terminator. Look at some of the other ones, like
Home Alone.
Halloween, say. I like Halloween 1. I like Halloween 2. I like H2O, and I can pick and choose what I want. To be my franchise.
We're going to talk we'll definitely get to this franchise at some point with Mission Impossible, where you have an iconic first movie and then kind of like 2, 3 not as good, kind of going in the wrong direction. 4, 5, all right, we're kind of picking it back up. Or, yeah, I think then 6 is Fallout. And that is an incredible movie. And then all of a sudden you just get this rebound back into it, similar to what happened with the Batman franchise. But yeah, sometimes, especially with Terminator, you get one movie that's considered the greatest movie of its genre, and then you just beat it till it's dead. You just beat the money out of it until it is absolutely, completely dead. Is anyone excited if they're like, in 2 years, a new Terminator is coming? Potentially. But for the most part, you're going to be like, oh, they're just doing another money grab.
Yeah, and I think with public opinion, you run into like a hard thing. Like, so for those Mission Impossibles, how hard was it to get like, okay, the franchise is fading. Oh man, people are thinking 2 isn't as good as 1. Okay, people think 3 isn't as good as 1. Okay, our brand is getting tarnished here. The power, having the ability and the luck to some degree to bring it back to, you know, like, let's get the new Coke, let's rebrand
Back to formula.
Yeah, let's get the brand new thing going, and this is a hard thing. You know, you see it parodied in movies about Hollywood all the time, but to bring a franchise back, to put it into a positive light again, where people view it as something that is of high quality, as opposed to, oh, this sucks now.
But be honest, though. I mean, okay, we haven't gotten through all 6 here, but if they announce a Terminator 7, I mean, would you watch it? I for one, I'm going to. Well, I'm not going to go to the theater to watch it.
There,
but
yeah.
I've seen all 6. I'm not going to. Whether it's a good movie or not, I'm gonna watch the 7th installment.
Yes, for sure, and that's why they might keep doing it, because they'll be like, at the end of the day, enough people will put money in our pockets.
And I can talk shit about it all I want, and I probably would, and I would still see it.
But on the grand scale, like, for example, like, would I care to go in theaters?
Oh hell, it takes a lot to get me to put my butt in a theater though these days.
It would depend on who the director was.
Exactly,
You'd have to be convinced that it was in good hands. If it was like some kind of like, that's what happened with Romulus. Like, you get Fede Alvarez. Now you're getting me thinking. You're going, oh, all right.
I put my butt in this. I put my butt in the theater.
Horror director. He's made some movies that I kind of like. All right, taking over the franchise. This is a good one. He's going to be able to put some horror tropes in it. I'm going to go see it in a theater.
Give me a good trailer, too.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, did I like it? Not really, but I was there.
But you were there, and you were in the theater.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the same thing could be done with Terminator if it gets into some hands. Whereas, you know, we're going to talk about the next 2 movies after Salvation. You look through the directors and writers of those movies, and obviously we have, you know, history to look back on in hindsight, but not exactly names that blow you off the page and go, oh, okay, I want to see that person's take.
So can we say that perhaps what we're talking about here on Franchise Addicts, by the way, thank you for listening, subscribe, tell your friends, is one of the major problems potentially that and this is not a new argument at all, but this is the problem with Hollywood. I was at a wrestling mat yesterday. I was at a wrestling mat. I was just hanging out there. I was just hanging out. That's where I start my day. You know?
I like getting ringworm.
Yeah, I want to make sure that I have that at all times.
Do I still have staph infection? No, all right.
I'm gonna go hang out one way to make sure. Hang out on a gym mat.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna go re-up on that.
Oh, I love nothing more than the smell of a gym mat. I was at a wrestling tournament for my son, and I just, you know, as a lot of people, you hang out there all day, and some people in the back were just like, they were talking about, I don't know, Wicked or something, and they're like, Hollywood's got no creative ideas anymore. And this is just your average. We're in Slinger, Wisconsin. These are just your Joe Dirt. No. Joe Blow. Joe. Whatever. Oh my gosh, I'm backpedaling.
That's Dear Tay.
You're John Doe's. Your average. What did Joe Biden call that guy? Like, where it was just like, you know, like, I'm your Joe America? No, I don't know.
I don't know.
Whatever. You get what I'm saying.
We get it.
Your average salt of the earth. And they're saying, you know, Hollywood has no good ideas. Hollywood's not creative anymore. Blah, 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 blah. And we do see, of course, you know, especially when it comes to big budget movies, in the last, you know, whatever, 10, 15 years, even more so, that there's less of a freedom for people to put lots of money into original ideas, and so we get these rehashes, we get these franchises that we are talking about, and maybe sometimes they go into a higher appetite of auteurship, and they are tasty, very nice films, but often they're not. And is this the problem with?
Well, Chris knows.
Was Joe America right?
Chris knows this is one of my favorite things to do, where someone makes a salient point, but it is a point that the public has been making over and over and over again, and then I remind people that that is a extremely tired argument that was made back in the 80s, where people were like, oh, they don't know how to write movies anymore. Remember the movies from the 70s? When we actually made art.
Yeah.
And then the early 90s happened, and people are like, movies are back, baby!
Yeah,
and then the early 2000s happened, and they're like, we can't make art anymore. There's blah, 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 blah. And, it's fucking cyclical. It goes back and forth. People like making the same tired arguments over and over again. There are still fantastic movies we've seen great movies like Joker 2, Folly of Do.
And yeah.
Also a franchise. That's a fucking franchise, baby.
I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to. But here's the thing about that is, and you get this in. People like to bring up and shit on things. Oh, Hollywood has that, and complain. But when you ask them for a solution, hey, give me 3 ideas that would solve your problem right there. They have nothing to say.
They're in a wrestling match. They're
Joe Dirte.
I'm working on Joe Dirte. I'm working on some scripts. The guy maybe has some scripts in his pocket. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a thought. As we are getting a little more meta here about the franchise itself.
I think we can tell that this movie is kind of the breaking point of this franchise, where you get Salvation, which is a major disappointment. We have to do it out of order. We come back to 3. We're like, oh, maybe there's still some fun and nostalgia in 3, and it's like, not really. And you're just coming off a high. You're coming off a high of T2, but this is the conversation. Going forward, obviously, like Chris said, we got lucky. Well, we didn't get lucky. Again, I did the same misspeak that he did. But with Alien and Batman, because we've seen a lot of those movies too ahead of time, we know the trajectory. We know we're getting to somewhere better. Whereas with Terminator, we know we're not getting anywhere better.
Yeah.
There is
tough sledding.
There is no great movie that exists at the end of this road. We are just in the mire and muck of what franchises typically turn into.
Well, and I agree with you. The one saving grace from this movie is that I will give you that I did laugh a lot, while I was watching this movie. I don't know if I was laughing at the jokes of the movie or I was laughing at the movie itself, but I laughed at least.
Yeah, I could have had a worse time. So let's get through this. I think good talk about the nature of a franchise. We'll revisit that. I think honestly we've had such heady movies with the aliens and with the Batmans that this is the first time we can kind of take a step back and be like, let's talk about the bigger picture.
Well, 5 movies into the Alien franchise where you think it should start, going down. All of a sudden we get Prometheus.
Boom.
And then we're talking about, the Bible for 9
Our
hours.
most listened to episode.
Yes.
Thank you.
So this is the conversation we had, this is maybe a month ago now, Luke, when I asked you what makes a franchise, because let's look at something like Harry Potter, right? And where I can go, okay, that was all thought out, all written, it all flows so nicely. There's a reason for that, and it's flawless, but it's not the same as these types of franchises where they're handed off, they're written by different people, they're Harry Potters were directed by different people, but obviously, based off of the source material written by the same person, right? And so it makes for a continuity that you don't get in the franchises that we've been speaking of.
Yeah, and you can usually, so if you look, just do a minor bit of digging into certain franchises, where the successful ones, the unsuccessful ones, usually there's a couple of standout things. One, they're held by the same production and distribution company basically the entire way through. There is a singular voice at the top. With the Harry Potter, we got to run everything by the writer. We got to run everything by her. We can have multiple directors in this, but it's one production company kind of guiding the way through. All the books are written, and so we just have to do the best thing we possibly can with this. Terminator falls into the camp of different production companies thrown all around. The one singular voice doesn't want to be a part of it after the second one anymore. You look at something like James Bond, which has like 40 films involved with it. The rights to James Bond, the character, is one family. They decide everything. If a director wants to do a James Bond movie, they have to run it by this family and say, here's my take. And they either go, good, or get out of here. You're not doing it. So you just got to look for those types of protections. And, we'll cover plenty of franchises where this is just going to be the case over and over and over again. And it's either that singular voice at the top that's directing everything, or it's a conglomerated mess.
Yeah. I think...
Socialism doesn't work. Do not give the power to the people. Give it to one singular person.
The people think they want the power, but...
No.
They don't. I think the last little point to make is...
Well, and... Before you get to that, Chris,
yeah.
The singular voice here that could have taken control of this franchise, but instead fell into California politics, was Arnold could have taken this franchise over and put it in a better direction. He's just not the artist that someone like Sly Stallone is, who held, there's some bad Rocky movies, sure, but if you want to make a Rocky movie, you kind of have to run it by Sly Stallone. And I think that's kind of why Creed was so successful, is he shows up back in it. He has a fantastic director that comes with him with this idea, hey, I want to pay nostalgia, but I also want to make my own thing. Stallone is actually a talented writer, an artist in his own right. Maybe not as good of an actor, but whatever. He should have won Best Supporting Actor for Creed.
You think so? Yeah.
But Arnold's just not willing to do that. He wanted to... run a state.
I'm the best actor around, you know what I'm saying, kid? Hey, Creed.
That's it.
We'll definitely be doing the Rocky movies at some point, and Sly Stallone from hey, this is my signature franchise.
Oh, it's good.
Turns out way better than Arnold's signature franchise, The
100%.
Terminator.
100%. Yeah, well, Arnold lost his interest, right? And I don't know, who knows.
He wanted to be governor of the state of California.
Well, but then he came back. He came back in this one, and he wasn't going to do it. He was holding out, as far as I read, for James Cameron and to direct it, and was pushing. James Cameron turned it down. And then James Cameron told him, "Hey, look, if they offer you a boatload of money, you just go do it." They gave him $30 million, and he said, "Okay, I'll do it, no matter who directs it."
I'm back.
Phoned it the fuck in.
He did. So okay, we'll talk about Terminator 3. We can talk about more about how is franchise the antithesis of art, and we'll get to that a different time.
All right, so yeah, we've got the plot of this movie loosely. The beginning, we get the TX's arrival. That's our female Terminatrix.
Terminatrix, baby.
And in our new version of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator, he's the T-850.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
I thought you just made that up.
No, so he's not the T-800.
Did I miss that too?
I called you the T-850.
No, I know you did, but I was wondering if okay.
So the T-850, the difference, as you should know, is that he has those power cores.
Yes.
Oh,
whereas the T-800 was not run off of those power cores, because if the T-800 was lowered into molten metal and had those, the entire thing would have blown up.
There you go.
Put nukes in his chest, man.
Yeah, why don't we just put some Deus Ex Machina shit in his body so that we can just use that to get out of any direction we're going in this plot?
A nice little twist. So he comes. The Terminatrix, man. Like, I think that is the most kind of. I mean, yeah. At the end, you get the whole like, this is how Judgment Day works. This has the only really original new ideas posed. Not that they're necessarily handled like, incredibly well, but like, hey, female Terminator, the allure of the femme fatale, all that stuff. Like, how does that work?
Kristana Loken
is
our actress for the TX. I believe the other female that was talked about the most that potentially would have gotten the part was Femke Janssen,
Okay.
who ended up being in the X-Men movies, Jean Grey.
Rogue. No, not Rogue. Sorry.
Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Or-
Jean Grey.
Yeah. Who then eventually becomes the
Phoenix. That's
Yeah,
what
I
it
mean, and there's,
She was also... Have you guys seen Rounders?
Yeah.
I have a long time ago.
She is the hot little number that the Matt Damon character should have ended up with, but instead he goes back to his other girlfriend.
She's also in a
from the
movie
second
called
movie.
I Spy, I believe, with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's wonderful. I
I love her.
would have liked her better in this role, but I don't think Loken does bad. She's fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, and you want this like kind of blank canvas, you know, kind of very attractive, alluring stare, and not much else. But that's the love. That's the Terminator acting school. You don't need to do much.
But
you
this-
need to be blank.
This movie, instead of trying to bring some seriousness to the movie, both character reveals at the start. Arnold comes in,
a comedy.
TX comes in, and they go for comedic beats.
It's totally
So
a
she does the
comedy.
inflatable breast. Arnold's going into a gay nightclub, stealing the strippers' clothes and stuff like that.
Talk to the hand.
Wearing,
Oh God, no! The talk to the hand part.
wearing the stupid sunglasses.
That sucked. I was just gonna like that because yeah,
But it does set you up for what the movie's going to be.
yeah, it's you know, hey, we're having a fun time, but yeah, they do start it off and they're like, this is a comedy, this is something that is not going to be taken as seriously. So the movie tells you what it is.
I do like
Talk
the
to the hand.
perfect that he actually talks into the hand.
Hello.
Yeah. I do like the social commentary of the female Terminatrix, you know, coming in, you know, blasting in. She's naked. She's walking up to another female, and the way that a female acts towards another female, as opposed to naked Arnold with Bill Paxton, and these are the social commentary there that a female is going to take care of another female, even though she ends up killing her. Yeah, it was kind of a cool little, you know, it was something I noticed watching it with Mary. It was like, look at how different a woman would treat a woman that looks like she's in danger, or, you know, as opposed to a man on a man.
Terminatrix. Yep. So yeah, you know, not bad. And
Is it also a social commentary that the TX is able to just manipulate everything around it by simply touching it?
I didn't even think about that, but that's good. That's good.
She's weaving her web.
I mean, hey, and we thought this movie wouldn't have symbolism. We were wrong.
We also are introduced to our main human characters. We've got John Connor, Kate Brewster. So Kate Brewster played by Claire Danes within this movie. And our John Connor is Nick Stahl. We talked about him earlier. So brand new characters. They tried to get back, what's his name?
Why can't I think of his name now? Eddie Furlong.
Yeah, from the T2.
He was signed, I believe.
He was signed and apparently got a nice little bonus to sign for it, and then blew it all on drugs.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Eddie.
There's a quote there somewhere. I can't quote it now, but it was a pretty good one about cocaine.
Yeah.
Hell of a drug.
It was something like he was too busy celebrating to actually realize that he had to do work.
Yeah.
Easy money.
Bender. Perfect. That would have been a good drop.
So yeah, we get the introduction to those two characters because we've already covered Salvation. We know beforehand that these two end up together, but this is the movie where Arnold is able to tell these two that don't seem like they would be a match, that they will eventually be together. We get some fun conversation between the two, like, why would I ever end up with him? He's a mess. And the John Connor character is like, you're not exactly my type either, sweetheart.
Whoa.
But they did get it on in Mike Kripke's basement.
Kripke, that night
Yes.
at Kripke's basement, lives in infamy. Is it symbolic? It's here. We're talking again. I'm gonna say again. Oh, I thought this movie had no symbolism, but I'm wrong again because you know what? Here's the thing, guys. They met in Kripke's basement, and I mean, it's okay. Can we spoil this? Like, can we talk about what happened?
Go for it.
So
Unspoilable movie. except
they
for the
end,
ending, potentially.
and those two, they end as essentially like Adam and Eve
They do.
in a government basement.
Their own Garden of Eden.
Yeah, the whole like they're taking Mike Kripke's basement to the next level. Like we start underground, we stay and prosper underground.
Do you think that you...
Very try hard. Very try hard to get that to be symbolism.
Do you think that you could take any level of
just
physical attraction that you had between a male and a female and put them in isolation and they would just eventually end up together?
100%.
You think
Yeah,
that's
how
how
that
that's how
works.
deep rooted it goes? Because I just think it would be funny if like the Brewster and Connor character were like, I'm not attracted to this person at all.
Not gonna happen, buddy.
Because at least in this movie, they're like, oh, they made out when they were kids earlier. And even John Connor has the thing where, like, oh, we were always supposed to be together. Like, if the stuff that happened in T2 wouldn't have happened and I wouldn't, my mom didn't come back into my life and, like, whisk me away, we would have stayed in the same town, same school together. I wouldn't have, like, gone on the run and, like, been hiding out and trying to get my... Because the thing with John Connor in this movie is he's trying to stay as much off the grid as he possibly can. The reason why he meets Katie Brewster is she works at a vet's office. He falls off his motorcycle, is all beat up, and he's got to get some medication without going to a hospital so that there's no records of him. And
Can't have a records. Gotta commit major drug theft.
yeah, he has to take an entire bottle of painkillers and pass out on her floor in the vet's office.
That's one.
Does John Connor have a drug problem in this movie? And did they write it in because what's his butt?
Furlong.
And they're like, wait, so Furlong went on a bender when we asked him to do this. We can't then also have him play a drug addict in this movie.
Maybe they wrote that way because they're like, this is how he's gonna come off, guys.
He's a terrible actor, so
Yeah.
let's just...
He's gotta play
make him-
himself.
Let's work with it.
He's gotta play
Let's
himself.
just make him hangdog face, look like he's sweating the entire time,
Yep.
half asleep, half in the bag.
We gotta work with it.
And Stahl's like, God, now I actually have to act.
Yeah, the most unremarkable part of this film is Nick Stahl's portrayal of John Connor, in my opinion, and with all of that training from his mother and growing up and blowing shit up in helicopters and all the stuff he talks about in T2, he apparently forgets how to hold a firearm when he holds it on Kate Brewster.
Well, and we also have to have the reveal that Kate Brewster, who was raised by a military man, her father, knows the difference between a paintball gun and a real gun, so she's able to defuse things. And then when, like, guns start firing and all, like, the action gets way too intense, then Claire Danes' character choice is like, act like a person that is not around this at all and is just freaking out the rest of the movie. And it's like, I thought the character trait you were given at the beginning was like, you're very capable of like working in this world.
Also, what type of her character as a person, her character as a character is to leave somebody locked in a cage as somebody else comes in with a gun and she just runs off.
It's brutal.
That is kind of...
Yeah.
I'm going to get this out of the way because I think you guys have different feelings towards this. I do not like Claire Danes as an actor. I think she is way over the top. I think that some of the choices she makes in a lot of her different performances throughout movies, I always hit me the wrong way. And I think she's like actively terrible in this movie.
I disagree. I think she
Yeah.
was actually good in this movie.
Yeah.
My choices for good actors in this movie were slim, but I think she was one of the better parts, actually.
I think she makes Stahl look good.
No, she's an ugly crier, which we've established. We talked about while watching. That's known. So she does that, but no, I mean I think she's good. She's fine. She's the best actor that's in this movie.
Besides Silberman.
Yes, I was just about to say
Silverman is a masterclass.
No, he's not. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could.
Earl Bowen.
Earl Bowen, and
comes
that's,
in,
That's more of a cameo.
He's
I suppose.
he's an assassin. He just steps in, he crushes it, he kills, and he just is out
and
of there.
runs away.
Yeah, he's like, I'm out. I just needed to. Oh, so many
So
things.
good,
And
though.
cut. There's your Oscar, bitch.
Oh, so good.
Silverman.
Earl Bowen.
Earl Bowen.
Yeah. So no, I mean disagree there, but I guess I can understand your thoughts.
Whatever. It's I had to preface it with I just don't like her from other movies. She's probably fine in this movie. I got a blindness to the Claire Danes performance.
I was happy to see her because this is kind of your prime Claire Danes time, you know,
coming off of Romeo and Juliet.
Like 6 years earlier, which was a huge thing for young Chris.
I was happy she died at the end.
Oh my God, this guy hates Claire Danes. What did Claire do to you?
She's not a good actor.
So she deserves to die.
She is horrible.
Well, I mean,
It's got a Claire Danes voodoo doll in the corner.
Romeo and Juliet, they kind of have to die in order for their families to come together. So in a way, isn't it good that they
Beautiful.
both pass away in love
Man.
and embrace?
I rocked that soundtrack in that movie. That was such a big deal for me.
I love that. I absolutely adore that movie.
Yeah. Oh man, it was. I didn't even understand. I was like, this is. Dude, it was so perfect as like a seventh grader, sixth grader to be like, this is what love really is, man.
Well, it's wild because I think I watched it after I had seen Lost, and Michael from Lost plays Mercutio in that movie, and Mercutio has like the great speech that he has, you know, the black mom or whatever, the witch speech that he has, and the entire time I'm like, God, I hate Michael from Lost, but I love this guy. I'm rewatching Lost right now with Rebecca, and Michael just drives me crazy. Walt, oh, why can't I be a good father? I am a good father. Why can't I be a good father? I gotta go find Walt.
Have you seen Lost, Paul?
I'm not a big Lost watcher.
Paul and I are both just
My
like,
Lost-
We're going to tune out right now.
We're lost on that one, pal. Hey,
Why don't you talk about Disney World?
hell yeah, dude.
We are.
Losers.
Yes. The rock and roller coaster's being taken away. They're turning it into a Muppet coaster.
I didn't see that.
Well, it's brand new news. So that is your Disney Corner update.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're taking away the Muppets the show.
Yeah.
That's good for Monsters Inc. World.
Nice.
Very cool.
Very cool.
I fucking
Very
love
cool.
it. I love it.
If Judgment Day
So
comes,
the
I hope
so
that
the
is ground zero.
the receptionist in Monsters Inc. Raz, is that her name? Raz.
Yeah.
Raz.
I'm watching you.
I've got
Wazowski.
at the new center. There's a receptionist there that
Reminds
full
you.
on Raz. And I was about to say it. Mary's like, don't tell me. You're thinking about Raz. I'm like, is that the receptionist from Monsters Inc? She's like, yep. I'm like, that's exactly who that is.
All right, so the meeting of Connor and Brewster leads us into the big action set piece that begins this movie, which is a giant crane truck.
Yeah.
Blasting after these guys in their Toyota Tacoma.
Yeah.
With a house on the back.
Yeah, gotta have a house on the back. Gotta have something to lock Claire Danes in.
Yeah, that wouldn't work if she was in a small trunk.
Oh, it made me laugh every single time that they shut the sliding door that connected the back compartment to the front. It's like, just shut her up.
Stay there, Claire. You deserve it. You're horrible.
I mean, most of the budget went into just blowing the shit out of everything surrounding this action.
And that was all real effects in this
all
whole
real. Arnold was holding onto the crane for a lot of it. Even the stuntmen, you can tell, not like a T2 where you're like, I don't think that's Arnold.
Oh man, I missed that.
But I do love this chase. I love this.
It's awesome.
I really do. I mean, it's on steroids, and we're bowling over. We've got the truck, and this time it's a crane, and we're bowling over everything in front of us. And then at one point, the crane turns sideways, so you basically have, you've got a huge letter T going down. So not only are you taking out everything in front of you, you're leveling city blocks. You're leveling the buildings along the side. I found myself really. Probably my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah, I'm going to say right there, like, I know we've just spent, I don't know how long just shitting on this, but, like, that scene worth the price of admission? Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, you get your, the franchise is established. What do you need in a Terminator movie? A semi-truck chasing you.
Yes. Well, and do you know what happened for this scene was they were going to make it not as intense. They weren't going to bowl over that one building. They weren't going to make it practical at least. And Arnold put up his own money to make
Arnold.
it practical.
Fuck yeah, Arnold.
So go back to my original point. Arnold could have taken a lot more control of what happened in this movie and just chose his spots, basically.
He was all like, chill out, dickwad. I'll give you the money.
My favorite line reading of his, it's coming up in a little bit, but it's
My database does not encompass the dynamics of human pair bonding.
That's nice.
Peel bonding.
So,
Be a bonding.
yeah, you were saying that Arnold seems like he's phoning it in. I would agree, especially I think when we were both watching the first big Arnold scene when he's like working on his chest in the car. It just didn't have that same magic.
No, he's going well because the story that they've written for the T850, obviously being a different. Well, he's the same model number, but he's obviously a different robot as the one from T2. He doesn't have all the obvious memories from things that happened in T2 the first time.
Except he's got the memory of the keys being in the visor.
He does know
It's
that.
a neural network, neural learning network. But we get this pointed out because John Connor is like, hey, don't you remember Hasta La Vista, baby? And all this, the 48 hours where you were my dad. Wasn't that great?
Nothing to me.
So I think what Arnold took from that is I'm going to play this way more robotic than he does. Like, I think the parts we like in T2 and the parts Arnold even said he likes about T2 is where he's trying to act human.
Yeah, but
So is this actually a really good acting job by Arnold because we know, although he's Arnold, it's the same actor in all of them. These are different. Terminator 1, 2, and 3, these are different machines. They're not the same one. So is he acting more robotic on purpose?
Well, I mean, that gets down to what is good acting. Is it the fact that you are technically performing well, or are you connecting with the audience? And he is
Good
not
point.
connecting with the audience,
That's
in
it.
my opinion,
I
in
agree.
T3 at all. Whereas
No.
in T2, you have an emotional attachment to him.
it's like my thought was, and I don't. This is just my speculation. But when he's in the car and there's doing those readings, it seemed like were most of those one take lines, or like just kind of like he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, whatever. But just really quick, as opposed to like just there was no nuance to the line readings. It was just kind of like you're an information dump machine.
Yeah, you can hear the script.
Yeah, it didn't do it. And I mean, yes, he's still doing the robotic stuff. He's still the same guy, but there was something missing for me.
Peel bonding.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't understand it. He needs to understand it.
Yeah, so again, if you guys have anything more to say about the big action scene, we can move forward. But it's
good.
It's again, like Chris said, the price of admission. You feel good after this. Do whatever you want post this action scene. We'll figure it out from there. And that the entire movie just becomes basically a chase to the end. We don't know what the end is necessarily going to be, even though the Terminator tries to like keep throwing it in there. Arnold's like, it's inevitable. It's inevitable. I'm going to tell you once again, inevitable. And obviously with the human characters, they never want to hear something's inevitable. So our next big thing that we have to get to is one of the people on the list of the TX2 kill. Because something else we didn't cover is that the TX doesn't know in this time period where John Connor is because he's done a good job of staying off the grid. So its mission is kill all of the lieutenants from the future that work for John Connor in the past. So she has a list of like 22 names. We see her going around at the beginning of the movie after she gets introduced and shooting these people down.
Kills a kid right away.
Well, she goes
Through the drive-thru.
She goes through the drive-thru and kills the dude that takes her order, basically, and then she stops at a mansion, is like, "Where's your brother?" and shoots both of them in cold blood.
Yeah,
I like at the drive-thru though. She goes through and she says the guy's name, and he's the one taking her. He's like, "Yeah," like not
Well, then she looks at his name tag and she's like, "Confirmed."
Yeah, like not like who is this person coming through the drive-thru knowing my name? Like that's not odd. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Hello.
But it turns out that one of the people on the list is Brewster's dad. And it turns out that he is the single most important human when it comes to Skynet in the entire world.
Coincidence.
Because he happens to be the guy that decides whether or not to turn on Skynet or could potentially turn it off once it has been turned on. So there's a lot of convoluted shit going on with that. But that's our main driving force through the end of the movie is Brewster, Connor, and the T-850 have to go potentially save her dad.
That's what happens. And her dad, who's one of his cronies, is Chris Hardwick.
Yeah.
That was a good
Singled out
pull.
Fane.
That was a good pull.
He's the nerdy, guy.
He is looking dumpy.
Yeah,
he,
this
he,
is
Not looking great.
he had a glow up, man.
He did.
Definitely had a glow up.
This was in a down cycle for
Yeah,
Chris, who's done great things. Also, the Excedrine XL truck. This actually was a bigger.
This like stopped our watching in its tracks.
Yeah, because I was like, that's trucker speed. I don't think that they could advertise that today. And you know, that's some bold product placement, and I'm right about it. I mean, like, they couldn't do that today, and it is like, we had there was a talk about it. Well, is that Excedrin? No, it's more than Excedrin. I talked about my
diet pill,
my stacker pill phase in early college. Don't do it, kids. Don't do it.
No.
We talked about vomiting in cars as they were being driven by myself, and it's all ugly. It's all ugly. So don't go down that Xenadrine XL path, kids. If you can take one thing,
gateway drug.
it's just take one thing away from this episode. It's that. It's okay. They're fighting.
Also, a gateway is the cemetery fight because we have to get all of our weapons and ammunition for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So we think we're going to the grave of Sarah Connor.
But it's a grave.
It's sad, but it is a grave filled with weapons.
Oh, yeah. Bazookas in there, baby. You know I'd like that.
There's one thing that his mom was. It was prepared.
Resourceful, prepared, and Arnold gets to carry the coffin like the log that he has in Commando over his shoulder.
Yep.
So good.
And they just light him up. And it's not bad. It's not bad.
Scares the shit out of Silberman. Sends him back. This guy had made so much progress mentally, working through his trauma from the past, and all of a sudden his demon once again rises.
Sent reeling back to his.
Just runs away.
Do you think he also has his own doctors that are like, this fucking guy?
I know, he's that guy.
This crazy story.
They show him tapes of himself.
Oh,
So this is what you said.
I'm gonna make a career off
On
this guy.
CCTV, and he's that. I need that. A little short on Silberman his doctors.
They should have brought again. Luke makes this movie better. Silverman should have been like a cult leader that is like his god or his demon that he's preaching about is the Terminator. It's like, guys, you don't understand. Machines from the future, they come.
So good.
The Church of Silberman.
Church of Silberman,
I would have loved it. He's he goes pretty crazy. That's sad for that guy.
So,
but at least he got more work, you know?
He did.
He got more work.
We get to see a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff going on at the Skynet military facilities. We get to see the original Terminator bots, the T-1s. They're four-legged robots with the machine guns on top
with
of
the
their
minigun
head.
on there. Yeah.
Militant Wallies, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We get to see that basically all that was needed to turn Skynet on was hitting the Y on a keyboard and enter.
That's it.
I do like that he took control of that himself, though, and said, "This is my decision."
I'll do it. Just put the Y there. This is very good. There's no way that this decision could accidentally happen.
And something that they're like weaving through the movie is the reason for why they're turning Skynet on, which is that there is a international virus, that computer virus that's occurring. They don't understand why or how to stop it. And they have this AI technology called Skynet that everyone is now convinced is the only thing that can get rid of this virus that's basically stopping the control of the military. And what it turns out is that Skynet then controls them.
Was Terminatrix the one that starts this virus?
So that is the reading that a lot of people, after seeing this movie, give to the movie, but I don't think the movie says outright ever.
It doesn't, but that's the impression I got.
Yes.
Not that she was just manipulating. She puts her fingers into the things, and now she's driving the cop cars by themselves, and she's able to eventually take over. This is getting ahead of ourselves, but take over the T-850 character or whatever. But I got the impression that she was the one shorting the cell network, that she was the one that started the whole virus.
So this is what happens with T3 over and over again from, again, like the people that I said that appreciate this movie. They are reading and putting things into this movie that are not said by the movie at all and are making it seem better than it actually is.
That's a good point.
If you just watch the movie, you're like, what is going on? It doesn't make any like the virus just again like a virus
Happens.
just comes out of nowhere, happens. You know, like wait, why do you have to turn Skynet on to do this? Why wouldn't you just let it run its course or find any other way of getting rid of this?
Call the Geek Squad or.
But it comes back to the inevitability over and over again. This was going to
There is
happen.
fate.
Yeah.
No fate was a lie. There is fate.
Yeah. I mean, it's dumb. It gets us to a good part because I will give flowers at the end to the ending of this movie, which I think is very,
cool.
very good.
That's cool.
Potentially one of the better endings to any movie that we've had.
It's
kind of
a well, yes. I mean, it tries to be a twist, right? Like
I
they're
like it.
going
It's successful.
And then if you look back on it, Arnold's whole mission, the T-850's whole mission, is to keep them safe, and so you actually do, upon rewatch, kind of see sort of hints that that's what's going
So
to happen.
let's talk a little bit about the T-850 and what happens near the end of this movie with the change of its mission, maybe making its mission more clear because we don't exactly know. We think it's the same as T2 where it's like protect John Connor. We get some hints to what happened in the future where John Connor's like, oh, I sent you, so you should be able to listen to me. It's like, nope, your wife sent me because you're dead. So potentially could be a different type of mission. Brewster gets to be one of the people like John Connor that the T-850 is protecting. And then the TX, because it can manipulate machines, is able to, in a way, rewrite some of the programming of the T-850. So Arnold, starts stopping John Connor to get to his eventual ending point.
More symbolism, man.
Yeah,
That's what women can do to a guy.
just God, this Arnold, this
gets
T-850 got into a bad relationship.
All of a sudden, he's just, he's like, that's not the real you, man. I'm sorry, we are together now.
My mind is fighting against it, but the body can't.
I can't help myself.
help the body.
She's hot, dude.
His vision going from like red, called pink, to blue. Like, the blue was good. Red, pink was bad.
Oh, we know it. We've been there, man.
But when I'm with you, baby, it's all you. It's all you, baby.
Oh, man, I'm so sorry.
But when you're with your friends, you become a different person. I don't understand.
I don't even like them anymore. I will not even hang with my bros. It's only about you, babe.
You don't understand. I'm trying to take over the universe and you can be involved. But it seems like when you're with your friends, you want to fight against me.
I'm trying to support you, babe, but I need time to be myself and unwind.
So good.
The boys, they want me around.
Take it out on a car.
Someone's sleeping on the couch tonight.
Oh, boy. And
I brought you flowers. There's a gun inside as
the
well.
eventual ending fight scene between the two is very good. It is definitely like a couple's fight where they end up like rolling on the ground together.
Zero sexual tension, though.
And then he shoves something in her mouth.
But she comes in on the helicopter exploding through. He comes in on a bigger helicopter.
I do like
Her
that.
helicopter. They're just trying to one-up each other all the way through. It turns out into a knockout, drag-out fight. And then, obviously, we have to have we've introduced this thing before. His power cell is a nuclear explosion.
Sure.
And how else could you kill an unstoppable robotic force but just throwing a nuclear bomb in its mouth and blowing it up?
They also make the TX hiss.
Yeah.
So some interesting, gender qualities.
What happens in this with the TX is it essentially goes through every death of the bad Terminators from the previous movies. So it in a way gets smashed in the door, like the first Terminator gets smashed in the compression thing. It gets melted when it's in the particle accelerator.
Yep.
Yeah, the suck machine.
Yeah. And then they add the new one, which is nuclear bomb in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great kill. So some fun.
It's amazing the lengths that you have to go to get rid of that girl, though. Huh?
Again,
Well, when you keep upgrading,
symbolic, right? And who said there was no symbolism in this movie? There is insight on the gender
I might get turned around. This might be this might be the best Terminator movie.
I mean, just think about it. Yeah, I mean, Arnold, he's conflicted. He's like, I was a father before, but I forget about you now. I'm on to a new life.
There's a lot
This
in
is my life now. It is with her, not with you, John.
I still love your mom.
Yeah,
in,
she's
in
cool.
our own way.
We are friends.
It's a special kind of love.
But I'm with this new person now, and you have to understand that.
I know
We'll
you
always love each other.
don't you want me to be happy, John?
Oh, we are definitely making too much of this movie.
I love it. That's the whole point. This is great.
Chris is working through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
fuck.
this is getting kind of
Oh my god, it's real
personal. Therapy.
Indeed.
Chris,
you know,
how does it feel to be an only child with the weight of the world put on you by your mother, and then you try to stay off the grid as much as possible through your teen years?
you know, it led to a lot of self-destructive behavior.
It'll lead you to a bridge, dropping your full.
I dropped a
bottle
lot
of
of, well, no, but
Budweiser.
they were never full.
There are also a few crashes in your career, too.
couple crashes. You
An
know,
entire city block devastated.
yeah, I mean, you know,
No, just Mequon Road.
yeah, just back on road, trees, devastated, cars,
Devastated
You know.
trees with cars.
parental expectations, devastated.
And it all led you to a bunker in Colorado with the girl of your dreams that's not actually of your dreams, but is just the best one available.
Yep.
At the time.
That's, again, hey, sometimes we're just looking for the best one available.
Getting called on a radio, and you answer the call as the hero of the world.
Yeah, just takes that over. Like Claire's right there.
So
So he's like,
for-
I'm the leader, guys, because I'm the dude.
For clarification's sake, I'll give us the lay of the land for how this ending works. So they think that Brewster's dad has given them the key code, the key basically to get it into this bunker, which has the turn off switch for Skynet. The T-850 gets them there. The TX destroyed by the T-850 nuclear explosion. Blast doors drop. They are now in the bunker, and they're frantically looking around for how do we turn off Skynet? Why are all these machines from
They're so old.
50 years ago? Well, the virus can't infect it. Also, there's no turn off switch. The reason why you were led here, your fate is that it is the safest place during the nuclear fallout.
Which is happening.
My dad wanted us to be saved.
The internet was Skynet was the internet. Ah! Damn dirty apes!
And the other people that are in the other bunkers around the world are radioing each other and searching for a leader, someone to tell them, how do we get through this? Well, it turns out that there is one person, John Connor, who knew that this fallout was going to happen all along. He knows the machines will take over. He knows how to fight the machines, sort of, at this time. John Connor answers the call.
Just
I
like-
am
In
your
the most
leader.
unbelievable way ever.
Just like, yeah.
Tells them he is in charge.
Happy to go back on the grid.
I am JC.
I am JC, the chosen one, my child. I have risen. Yeah, he is risen, and that
He
is
is risen indeed.
Yeah, I mean, come on, it's there. You know, I'm gonna take all that stuff back. I was like, oh, sucks. This is a B movie. Look at all the beautiful symbolism that. What was this director's name again? Whatever.
Christopher Mastow.
Mastow has painted a tapestry full of the human experience, and we have just really
Not Christopher, Jonathan Mastow.
Jonathan, of course. I was just making sure you were paying attention.
What a legend.
What a legend! A name synonymous with quality.
So again, this takes me back to my original point of this movie being kind of campy in a way that it is so bad that now we've just talked it into
Goodness,
being
I love
kind
this.
of good.
This is.
It has
This might be the greatest movie ever made.
Sit down, T2. Sit down, all of you. It's Rise Against the Machines for me, dog.
so let's go there though. Let's go. The title of the movie, Rise Against the Machines.
Rise
The
up.
T-850, Rise of the Machines. T-850 revealing that Judgment Day is inevitable and that he needs to keep them safe. He knows the whole time that, again, he said it's inevitable, so he can't be leading them to the place where they're turning off Skynet. He can only be leading them to the place where they're going to be safe. He knows, in my opinion, that there's no turning off, that this is happening this time.
They have the scene where they're at the camping ground with the
Correct, with the camper,
camper.
and he's going to go one way, and he says, "No, we're not going to go save you."
He's like,
or
Judgment
you
Day
dad."
is happening in 2 hours. Basically, we don't have time to go save your
hour
dad.
57 minutes.
We have to keep driving farther into Mexico to get away from the blast radius.
Always to Mexico.
Yeah, gotta
Apparently,
escape.
safest place to be.
Yeah.
United States, not safe. Mexico, safe.
Yep.
Build that wall, baby.
Other end of the border.
Who are we really keeping out?
Yeah.
Well, I know-
Who is
Jesus.
the wall really for?
My gosh. Most
This is the
philosophical.
best movie ever.
Yeah. What?
But yeah, the T-850 knows that it is a protection mission. It is not a we have to stop Skynet
Correct.
mission.
And they do it.
Yeah.
And that's it. That is Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
Rise.
Should we get into the? Should we get into?
Did I say Rise Against the Machine, like Rage
Yeah.
Against the Machine?
Yeah.
Killing in the name of.
Dude.
And they do what they told you.
Some of those.
Luke's in on this one.
Yeah.
What was our one last week? That was
Those who die
Yeah.
are justified.
Yeah.
oh, good stuff. Okay,
Machines on,
so here
right?
we've gotten to the end of the movie.
Yep.
We have gotten to the end of the
Let's do
movie.
our awards.
Yeah, we had a. I keep on being like, we haven't talked enough about the movie. We've talked enough about the movie.
We got it. Yeah.
So our favorite scene from this movie, we've probably already given away. Are you going to stick
Chase
with that,
scene.
Chris? Is that your favorite scene, chase scene?
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Yeah. I'll give it to a dialogue scene. I like when they're driving in the RV and the reveal of them being a couple in the future occurs. A lot of
Matchmaker Arnold.
Yeah, a lot of funny Arnold. It also has one of my other favorite line drops when he tells him that John Connor died in the future, and he just says,
Humans inevitably die.
It's very true.
Very true.
I'm bringing that out at the next funeral that I go to when people are
Yeah,
sad and depressed. Just be like, humans inevitably die.
What's wrong with your eyes?
Talk to the hand.
Yes.
Man, we just need an Arnold sound machine to take
My
with us.
database does not encompass the dynamics of human pair bonding.
Peel bonding.
Encompass.
So get over it.
Dick Quad.
Yeah, but I think it's the crane scene. It's what if you were going to just watch 5 minutes of this movie
Yeah,
and just
watch
get
that.
rid of all the rest, just watch this and then maybe watch the end.
Yeah, the end is cool.
The end is very cool.
I like the end. I guess honorable mention to the getting all the weapons out of the grave. It's not bad.
Yeah.
You got your Silberman at the end.
So that was an easy one with the scene. Our performance of the movie. This is where we might be diverging.
Yeah,
Chris?
I'm going with the Terminatrix.
Christiana Loken?
Yes.
Christana Loken?
You know, she doesn't she doesn't do a ton of she does what she's supposed to do well. It's an interesting twist. Ultimately, does it, she's no T-1000, but in a movie that I feel like, doesn't have a lot of characters that I find too interesting, I found that interesting. Also, I'm a sucker for an attractive lady that's giving, kind of those very blank stares.
Well, some of us are
Got a type.
butt guys. You're a boob guy.
That's right. Well, I mean, she's good in both
She
places,
inflates,
right?
but she inflates the boob. So
What if she gave herself a BBL?
so for me, it's Earl Bone.
You stole my guy.
Yeah, I mean, I just my favorite. I mean, cameo. I'm just gonna call it a cameo. But it is. I mean, I just yes, we started with that, but what you didn't get in just the line reading is the facial expressions.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't do
He
that.
is just going down. He's looking around. You see it happening in his head. It's right up there with my the performance of Morton in the other one. I just love it. I really do. I think it's a great.
Watching it in a group together, obviously we didn't stand up and applaud after, but we might as well have. We were all like, Silberman!
Yeah, exactly. It's great.
He brought people together.
It's fantastic. He's also my performance of the movie. Earl Bowen, Silberman, Impossible Things. crazy things, insane things.
Insane things.
I love it. All right, MVP of the movie.
I will go to Arnold for shelling out the money for that action scene and just doing it in general. I don't know. Like, I don't. Again, this is tough to. This is tough to have. It's tough to find an MVP for this, but I since he exerted some direction and I guess financed what I think is the best scene in the movie. I will give it to him.
I'll go with this is maybe a little bit weird because they're not involved in the movie at all. I'll go with James Cameron for holding to his holding the line, not coming back no matter what they offered him monetarily to direct a movie. He said, "No, I wrote the first two. I lost the rights. I sold the rights for $1 to my ex-wife, who then lost them, and so I have this is my baby right here that I wrote, and somebody else. They want me to direct something that I'm not comfortable with, but." Hey, Arnold, they pay you, go do it. Because Arnold was holding out, so he gave Arnold was not going to do the movie. He said, Arnold, please, go do it. If they give you the money, and $30 million in, what was it, 2003? That's a lot of fucking money.
Come on.
And so, by James Cameron doing that, he allowed Arnold to do it. Arnold had the money to finance that scene. So, James Cameron, MVP.
Yeah, I'll go with the director, Jonathan Mostow.
Mostow.
We made fun of him before.
What was that first name again?
Jonathan Christopher Mostow.
Bigsby? Okay.
Jonathan Mostow, I think for the action scene that, yes, Arnold did put up the money for, but it does take somebody to actually get that all working in the right direction. There are definitely memorable action scenes in this. I think sticking with that cool ending too, got to give him some credit. I'm sure the writers were involved in that too. I think he did the best job that he possibly could with the convolution that is everything behind the scenes that happened with this movie. Is it great? No. Is it something that we will always remember that Jonathan Mostow directed? Definitely not. In a month, I'll be like, who directed T3? I don't know.
We don't know.
Christopher?
For right now, because I don't like a lot of the other things that are going on in this movie, I'll give it to Mostow.
I gotta give one more honorable mention for scenes that we didn't talk about at all. But TX, when she pumps her hand through the dude's chest.
Oh, yeah, in the car.
We get a little chest burster action.
That's cool.
Very alien reminiscent. Like just the... Yeah.
I mean, if it's not the chase scene for me, then I go with that. Because also, we're going back to the Terminator horror, which we don't get a lot of in this movie at all, but you get it there. Thank you.
Agreed. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
All right. Our rating for Terminator 3, Rage Against the Machines.
Quit it now. I will go with a 5.8.
Solid score.
Yeah.
What did I give? I can't remember what I gave Salvation, but, I think it was like a 5.5 or something like that.
Sure.
I'm going to go right along with that. 5.5. I mean, it's
right in line.
Yeah. I mean, I think I found myself laughing throughout the movie, so I mean, I had to enjoy it in some maybe some of it was a company I had right there, but what makes a good movie at that point. It's not a great movie, no, not at all.
I liked it.
I'm not gonna really rewatch it again, but we had a good time talking about it, so there was some redeeming qualities to it.
Really, I'm sorry. I'm going to go 6.2 because I want to make sure that this is better than Salvation because it was more fun. It was
I'm going to do the exact same thing. I went really I was back and forth after seeing this movie. I'm like, is it better than Salvation? Is it not? Does this make Salvation seem better? I don't know. And just within the conversation that we've been able to have today about Terminator 3, it is way more enjoyable than Terminator Salvation.
Hell
Salvation is dark and dreary.
It's
and
kind of a boring slog fest.
Not fun at all. Not funny at all.
No.
This movie is actually funny in its stupidity, but there are some genuinely funny stuff that happens, and it has a genuinely great action scene. I'll go 5.9.
Okay.
It's not quite a 6. gets held back, but it is a superior movie to Terminator Salvation.
It's an LA6, which is an Ohio 9.
A Midwest 11.
That's so good.
All right, well, that'll do it. We're on to Genesis and
Buckle up.
and Dark Fate.
Yeah, so I'm going to just really tie our hands here, Chris. We had talked about this the other day. This is what we are doing. We will be doing this. We will not be releasing them in 2 separate episodes. We are going to be doing those 2 movies together so that our production schedule for the movie that will be coming out the week of Christmas will line up, because boy, do we have a Christmas movie for you. You'll never guess what this group of white guys came up with for their franchise that has something to do with Christmas.
You will never guess. It's so good. It is going to blow your mind. And speaking of blow your mind, we'll be here with more Terminator movies next week. But for now, be safe and watch out for Skynet.
Yeah, don't plug in yes or a Y and then hit enter.
Be careful
on
with,
just any black screen.
Careful with your key count. See you, Paul. See you, Luke.
See you guys.
Thanks, Chris.